Okay guys, I have to use my webcam again, till I can get batteries for my new camera. But I want to do a video since it's actually quiet in my place for once. And what I'm doing is I'm using the blue loom to show how to do a flat top hat. And I did a tight stitch, so you can kind of see that it's a pretty tight stitch in there. But I ended it so that I only had one loop on each. So what people are wondering is how do you turn this, I have to find all my tools here, how do you turn this, instead of doing the normal bind off to make it a hat, which again, you're going to do the same technique on any loom that you use, I'm just showing you on a smaller loom so that it fits in the camera better. So what we're going to do is we're going to cast it off by by going around and taking the loops off, and then we're going to flatten it, and then we're going to whip stitch it shut so that it will create more of like as if we're doing a bag instead. Which leads me to think that if you want a flat top hat and maybe you don't want to do it on a circle loom, you could use a straight loom and the clips that I've used before, and probably just do it as if you're doing a bag, and then see if it fits your head. It probably would work too. But for people that use the circle loom and want to make a flat top, that's what we're going to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your crochet hook, and we're going to just simply take these loops off. I might put one chain in between. It's one of the first times I've actually done done this type of technique. So yeah, I got like a hair that's like driving me nuts now. Yeah. Okay, right. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to simply go around until we get all these loops off. But we're not going to be closing it shut. We're actually going to be doing a different technique to the end. So, excuse me. Make sure you have some scissors too. So all we're going to do is pick up our loops and put them on the crochet hook. I'll probably do like one chain in between because I don't want this flat top to be too tight on the top. So I'm going to do just one little chain in between just to kind of help. Okay, and then I'll pick up the next one if it'll cooperate. And we'll put it on there again so you have the two. Oops. And then you're going to bring the back one around the front. Okay, and then you're going to do yourself one more little chain. This is kind of how you would do it if you're doing a flat panel. So if you know how to, so if you've watched my videos about how to do a flat panel, that's kind of all you're going to do here, is you're just working your way around as if this was a flat panel. So that's all I'm doing. I'm going to put this down so you can see. So all I'm doing is going and putting my chain in between so that it'll take it off the, I got a string that's driving me nuts here. And that's all I'm doing is taking it off as if I'm doing a flat panel. And then that way, what you're going to do later is once it's all off, is you're going to lay it flat, and then you're going to stitch it closed, basically, to create your flat top. Now, what's cute about a flat top versus a rather, like doing a gathered bind off like we normally do, is you can put like little pom-poms on each corner if you wanted, and that's kind of a cute effect that I've seen people do on them. It just gives it a different look that you can do stuff with. It probably look really cool, doing stripes or whatever, but I mean, it's just something a little different. And like I said, all I'm doing is picking them up so that they're on there, and then doing the front over the back, and then doing my chain again. I'm just doing it just because I like having a little extra stretch in between, just in case, someone's head's bigger. Okay. Now again, this hat may not fit anybody, mainly because I'm doing the blue loom and I did a tight stitch, which means even for a preemie, it'd probably be a little snug on it. But since I'm turning it into a flat bottom, I can actually turn around and use this for something else. I don't have to use it as a hat. I can put a little handle on it and make it a bag if I want it. So that's all I'm doing, is just working my way around. I'm still a little sick, but I'm not as bad as I was. And again, I apologize for the quality of the video. I'm probably going to have to get batteries for my digital camera. It seems to be better than this webcam that's on my computer. The quality of this kind of makes me mad. So I'm going to probably have to get batteries or have my husband's help to figure it out. But that's all I'm doing. I'm getting my way, as you can see. I'm just taking them off. So now this one side is completely off, and we're just working on the other side. But I mean, doing this type of hat, like I said, is just something different. Or you can do this way if you want to do a bag. I've showed different ways that you can do bags on a round loom. I don't think I've shown this way. So, oops, excuse me, I'm losing my. So go ahead and try different things with this. And I mean, again, the same idea is going to be used whether you use the small blue loom or the bigger blue loom. So we're getting closer to the end. We got a few more to do. I might be messing up a little bit, but it's okay. It'll still look good. Now I chose white because it shows up better, but see, I mean, it's just coming off of the loom. It's going to fall down here, and it's going to create that edge, and that's all you're doing is you're turning this into, excuse me, you're turning this into the flat type pattern. It's pretty simple. Again, all I'm doing is the chains in between, which if you see me do, again, pretty much the same idea of taking it off a rectangle loom. Like if you had did a flat panel blanket, then this is the same idea that we would typically do for that. So that's what you're going to use for the flat top hat, except we're going to close it off a little different, because we want it to be a hat, obviously. But I mean, adding pom-poms to the end will be really cute. I mean, you could even do a bag and dangle some pom-poms off the bottom of it. That might look cute too. Or have dangly pom-poms on this for like a kid's hat would be really nice too. Okay, so we're almost getting to the end. We got about 3 more to go. And watch your yarn, because I get my yarn tangled all the time. It gets kind of annoying when it gets tangled. I'm actually using some of my, what I call my scrap yarn right now, because it's the white yarn that a friend I got in a garage sale. It's got a little bit of a stain on it that I haven't been able to, I don't know how to wash the yarn first. So I figure if I make the projects that I'd want with it, I can wash it and then it'll be good. But, okay, so we're just doing it like we normally would. That's why I'm not really too concerned about you seeing what I'm doing, because you can check out other videos. Like I said, I'm just putting the chains on there. Now we're getting close to the end. And usually when I get close to the end of a project, it starts to not like me. Alright, so get back on there. Alright, so we're at the last peg. So I do the same thing just to get it off the loom. And now you're done with this, so put that aside. And now you're looking at it, and there's a little, you want to make sure you close it off. And I got to make sure I show you. See where we started and where we ended? There's like a gap. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of a triangle kind of gap. So we want to close that off before we flatten it, because it might look weird. So just go back over to the other side and just kind of put a loop, grab one of those loops and then bring it over, kind of thing. And now kind of close it off. So now you got it looking like this. Now you're going to flatten it. So let's bring this back up here. So I flattened it. So it's like that. Now we're going to close this off. But what you got to keep in mind is what side is going to be your outer side. I don't like the seams to show, so I'm going to probably kind of, in a sense, leave this in there and just kind of tuck it through so that I can turn this inside out. Because I want my seam to be on the inside of the hat. Even though I like this, I mean, I did a tight stitch, so I like this side or the other. But I would say if you want, whatever side you want your outside to be, do like we would normally do when we brim a hat and turn it inside out. Okay, and now you need to cut yourself some string. Now, I always say cut more than what you think you need, so I'm cutting a lot because I'd rather have too much to work with than not enough. Okay, so if you want to see how much I have, let me just pull it out. I have quite a bit of yarn, because what you're going to do, oops, I lost my hook. Hang on it, I lost my hook. Almost down my couch. Okay, so you're going to go back to the loop that you had. Excuse me. And now what we want to do is we want to close this off so that it will be our flat top hat. Excuse me. So we're just going to whip stitch, if they call it. So the first thing I want to do is bring this string all the way through that last loop that we had on there to kind of help secure this in place. Okay. And now we're just going to whip stitch around, which means you could thread this on a needle or you could use your crochet hook, I believe. So I'm just going to use my crochet hook to go into the project. If I find where I want to go here. Into the project, like so. Oops, and I'm going to grab the yarn that's on the other side and pull it through. So it's going to come through. And good. Okay. And then that's all you do is kind of bring it back to the other side. See if you can see what I'm doing. I'm grabbing it. And I'm pulling it through the project. And give it a little tug if you want, because you want to make sure it's secure. And make sure your two ends are as lined up as you can. And that's all you're going to do. So we took this string that was on this side and I put it onto that side. Because what I'm going to do is reach through this side to grab it and pull it through. Again, doing my best to keep the flat panels as lined up as I can. You will have to kind of gauge how far down you're doing it. And this is closing off the thing. So I'm checking every so often to make sure that my that my ends are as lined up as I can. And it is tricky. Sometimes you get caught on the other side. Like I said, you could use a needle if you wanted. I'm just using a crochet hook because that's what I have right now. Like I said, I'm bringing the yarn on the other side, and you want to make sure that you're through the project as much as you have been going. And I lost my yarn. Okay, so on this side, kind of come through a hole and grab that yarn and pull it through the other side. And you're doing this till you get all the way to the end. This is the same idea. It can be used for making bags. Like I said, at first you'll be like, wow, I have too much extra string, which is fine. You can cut it down to maybe only having a couple feet of string or whatever. I just usually say it's better to have enough, because the last thing you want to do is be doing this and then be like, oh, I don't have enough, or wait, I need to do something else, and it's not there. So all I'm doing is just kind of working my way through so that it will close off that side, or close off the top, which it's doing. Get close to the end. Now, I'm doing this kind of quick, so you may find that you want to do this a little closer to the edges. Like you might want to start over here a little more, and do more as you're going across. I'm just doing it kind of quick to show you guys, so you may find that maybe I'm doing too much space right now in between, and not doing as close as I should. I'm just showing you the technique, so you may have to do this. Make sure you're doing it a little closer, and probably start over here a little more, because I think I missed a spot that I should have did it in. Okay, we're almost to the end, so we want to make sure we get over to that corner, because you want it to be obviously a flat top. What's also going to help too, if the ends aren't quite closed, if you put pom-poms on each end, that'll kind of help it too. Okay, so we're at the end. Now we need to tie this off. Okay, so we're going to go back in, grab our yarn. This time we're not going to go all the way through. We're going to keep it a loop like that, and then go back through and grab the extra yarn. So we have our loop. Take a crochet hook through that loop and grab the string that we've been using and pull it through. And then just give it a little tug. And then what I like to do is I do another knot. I always like to do a couple knots. So now what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm just going to wrap it around like we're doing a slip knot. With the extra string that's here, kind of wrap it around your finger, and then bring it through. Okay, that's not working right. Let me try that again. Okay, so we got the extra string. And you want to make sure there's a knot here. So just kind of do it as if you're going to just put a knot in the yarn so that it's next to it. So and you can kind of just, you want something to keep it from going off. Now if you want, before you take and cut the string off, turn it back the other way. Push it up. Like I said, it might be a little messed up, because I didn't do it one spot. I mean, you definitely want to make sure you're as even as you can, but that's what it's going to look like. I mean, you're just closing off that. Now, it looks a little messed up. Again, I was doing it fast, and I wasn't doing them as close together as I probably should have. And, that's something you will learn kind of as you're doing it, where you need to go. I just wanted to show you a sample, because this is where this side over here that's kind of not pushed up is where we closed it off. So we may want to just fix that. And this side, like I said, I needed to probably do another thing there. But that's your flat top hat. So that's all you're going to do is you're just going to close it. I mean, it's closed. See, I mean, I'm pulling it. It's secure. So that's how you can do a flat top hat if you choose. Just make sure you keep more attention of what you're doing up here so that it doesn't, like, it looks consistent. Or if you don't want it to be a flat top hat, it's another way to make a little bag. Excuse me. Another little bag, and you can add handles to it. But this is a flat top hat. So, I mean, this might fit on a preemie's head. I don't know. I'd have to find a preemie baby to find it on, I guess. This is my little preemie hat. Flat top. Like I said, I just need to fix a little bit of it. I probably would want maybe more points, or I'd want it flatter. I don't know. But that's just how you do it. It's pretty simple. You're doing it like, taking off rectangle loom. You're doing your chain, one chain in between if you want. Or you can choose to try it with no chains and see how it looks. I just usually like to have a little more give at the top. So that's that project. And I apologize for coughing during the video, but I hope you enjoy this one, and I can't wait for the quality to be better.